Okay, we want to talk briefly about scenes within Vizrt. And scenes are within the S tab within our asset view. And I'm just going to slide our asset view window out so that we'll be able to see it just a little bit better while working with our scenes. So scenes are root items that hold other items. And basically within our S tab here, we have thumbnails here. And if we double click on any one of these thumbnails, it's going to open that scene. And within a scene, you have many different assets, containers, animation, lots of things. You can think of a scene as your projects in After Effects or Photoshop. And basically what it is made up of a bunch of your plugins and other things from your asset view window to form a complete project or scene and the thing that you're going to play out on air. Scenes are the base for further use as templates in other control applications like Vizrt Trio and Vizrt Mozart. And there are several components of a scene that you'll need to know. Number one, we opened a scene here from a thumbnail, and at any time we want to close a scene, I'm just going to slide our asset view window back into the lower right here. At any time you can see we have a scene open. We can close this scene by clicking the little X button here. At any time, if we want to create a new scene, there are basically two ways to do that. Number one, we could come in here and we could start adding something to a scene. So for instance, I added a couple of objects here to a scene and I want to save that. And I have two ways to save it. Number one, I could just hit this little save icon down here and it's going to bring up a naming prompt and highlight our folder, or we could do a save as and it brings up that same naming prompt and we can select a folder and just give it a name there and click save that scene. Now when you go back into that folder, you have a new thumbnail of that scene. So you just created a new scene. Another way to create a new scene is to come down into this area here and say create new scene. It will ask you to give a name in the naming prompt, and you can just type a name in there. You hit OK, and now it gives you the thumbnail down here in this window, letting you know that you just created a new scene. And if you're unsure that the scene is open, you could just double click it and that scene is now open. Now with Vizrt 5, scenes can be rendered in two different pipelines. Basically, we have the classic render pipeline, which you may be familiar with Vizrt 3, and then we have the Viz Engine render pipeline, which came out in Vizrt 4 and now is supported in Vizrt 5 as well. So these two settings are very important in your scene design. Now it's important to note you can't have one scene using both. So if you want a scene in classic mode and one in render mode, you're going to need two scenes. So it is possible to import scenes as well. So at any time, if we wanted to import a scene, you have an import button up here. And you click on the import button, it allows you to navigate anywhere within your computer. So somewhere you probably have a .via file that someone sent you. And this .via file is the native Vizrt archive format. So you can see we have a couple of scenes here that we could import, and we would just need to slide that across, bring it into our database, and our scene is now imported, and we could just double click it to open up that scene, and it's now imported and running and open, and you could play it out. Within your asset view, if you right click on any of your scene thumbnails, you'll get a little properties box. One, you can rename it, you can delete it, you can duplicate it, you can check out the scene, you can search by reference, or create a new scene are your options. If a scene is checked out, you'll get a little icon in the lower left of the thumbnail letting you know that the scene is either open or checked out, and if you want to check it back in. If a scene happens to be open, you'll get a little locked mark in the lower left window. And once you close that scene, you'll notice that that little lock button goes away. Scenes can be moved within different folders or subfolders without breaking anything. So anything that is linked to it is certainly going to go with it. You don't need to worry about bringing all the assets to one folder or anything. You slide one scene over, no matter what's with it, it's going to bring everything with it. And finally, if you had a scene and you wanted to send it to someone or archive it, we have an option to archive it. So here you can see we're in the archive interface. And if we wanted to take any particular scene that we wanted to send someone or just save it, compress it down into a .via format, we can just drag this into our archive And then we'll click the little save button, and we'll navigate to where we want to save it, give it a name, and now we have made an archive of our Vizrt scenes. So that's a quick, brief introduction to Vizrt scenes. We'll certainly be going into a lot more of this as we go through these courses.